Greetings, Earthbound humans. My name is Fenn, and welcome to the Geek Warehouse. I have found Bob Perfect. Now, for those of you who don't know who Bob Perfect is, he's a comedian, he's a voice, he's a spell slinger.
Yeah, I sling some spells.
He slings some spells. Do you want to expand on that? Like, what do you do?
Well, traditionally I'm a writer, and also I'm a writer for Durban Is Yours and Bubblegum Club, and then I'm a presenter on Durban Youth Radio. But then in my spare time, I like to sling spells and, pretend I'm a wizard.
Okay, we've got to explain that a little bit better, because we are here at a magic draft.
Yeah, we had a draft today, which is basically a version of playing the game. There's quite a few different ways you can play Magic, so that's one of the ways to go.
Okay, so to explain, this is Magic the Gathering we're talking about, and that's why I'm here, because I've heard there's some amazing things and all that. But let's start with the most rudimentary question. What is Magic the Gathering?
Magic's probably the granddaddy of, collectible card games around the world. It was started about 25 years ago by a guy called Richard Garfield. And basically they started with a set called Alpha. He wanted to change the board game dynamic. Like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. Basically he wanted to take that but make it condensed into a card game and be a portable game that you can play against friends, and one that's dynamic.
This is international, I assume very easy to get into.
Yeah, it's super, super easy to get into. I mean, if you want to get into Magic, you can come down to any local store and guys will teach you. You get an intro deck if you've never played before. They literally give you a free deck of cards. Then also, if you like that and you want to carry on and you want to actually explore the game, there's things called Planeswalker decks, which are slightly more upgraded to the intro decks. And then as time goes on, we've got a big community here, and you'll trade cards essentially. So that's the whole premise of the thing, is you buy a booster, you get your 15 cards, and with those you can then put that in your deck, or you can then trade them to someone else and get the cards that you need for your deck.
Okay, you keep talking about deck and all these things. How do you actually, if you can give a quick explanation of how do you actually play Magic the Gathering?
Well, it's basically you're meant to have about 60 cards in your deck. Mm-hmm. Well, that's it. It's a card game, first and foremost. Okay. And you basically summon creatures and you play spells, and you try and smash your opponent's face in doing that. It's quite a cool,
Not physically.
Not physically. I mean, that's frowned upon and might get you a game loss. But the whole concept is essentially your opponent's at 20 life, you're at 20 life, and your goal is to get them to 0. And you do that through a mixture of playing creatures and spells, which you use mana to cast. And so that's the whole thing, is the balance of expending your resources, dealing damage, and countering your opponent's spells and stuff like that. So that's the thing. That's what makes it more complex. In games like Pokemon, everything happens in your turn, and same like Hearthstone and that. But whereas Magic, there's a lot more dynamicness to it. You have more opportunity to respond to your opponent.
I won't lie, this is sounding very complicated to me. I've never played Magic, so I'm learning. So I can just go and pick up a starter deck.
Yeah, and that'll have all the basic stuff in it. It won't have all the complex stuff, and you'll learn the basics of how to smash your opponent's face in.
Okay, fantastic. So if I'm looking for one of these things, places where you can get, just off the top of your head, where do you get your cards from?
Well, in Durban, it's the Unseen Shop or it's the Batcave. Those are the places to go. There's quite a few online stores as well, though. So if you're looking for 1 or 2 cards that you really need, and that happens a lot, there's a few online stores, both here in South Africa and internationally, who you can get your cards from. Because that's the thing, you compete for prizes, and so you want your deck to be, as strong as possible. So that's the way to do it, is to go to your local game store or to order online.
Okay, that's pretty cool. There's one other thing I wanted to ask. I've walked around and I've seen a lot of the posters and banners and things, and there's this word that I'll never be able to say.
AAaaaand, that's the new set, yeah.
It's like
AAaaaand, AAaaaand.
Okay, cool. It's that first part that gets me.
Yeah, that's the new set. So basically, so there's blocks, so there's new sets that come out every few months or so, and they're whole new worlds. And so the whole premise of Magic is that you're a planeswalker, and you're exploring. You can, essentially, you can travel the dimensions. And so you can go to other dimensions and go to other worlds and stuff. And the current world, with the storylines currently on, is an AAaaaand, which is full of pirates and dinosaurs. And also it's conquistador vampires. So it's quite an entertaining little set at the moment. It's been quite fun.
I want to have a look at that. That seems pretty cool. Okay, cool. So thank you very much for the intro to Magic. Guys, if you want to get a hold of Bob Perfect, and if you want to sort of chat to him about magic-y related things, how can they get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter at BobnessMonster.
Bobness Monster. I'm going to put a link. Don't worry, I'll put a link below, so I've got you covered, so they can ask you anything.
Yeah,
And
shoot. I'm always happy to answer questions about magic.
humans, I found an off-duty Brad from the Unseen Shop, and he's agreed to explain all these free starter pack for Magic the Gathering. Now I can see there's 5 different ones. Let's start with the big question. How can you give these things away for free?
Well, Wizards of the Coast sends us these to get new players into the game. So you come into the store and you show an interest in Magic the Gathering, then you get a DCI number, which is a code which each is unique to each player who plays Magic, and then we give you a color.
Okay, so a DCI number is sort of what you need to be registered to play in, what was that, drafts? It was a draft, wasn't it?
Yes, correct. In any tournaments or Friday Night Magic or any in-store events for Wizards, then you need a DCI number to record your playing in the game.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so I understand now why you get it for free. But now I've just started this, and there's 5. I don't know if you can see. There's 5 different colors. Green, and that's purple. Orange. Okay, explain. Okay, just run me through. Like, what's the difference between these things?
Well, besides the colors, so you've got green, black, white, blue, and red. They all have different play styles. So green is all about big monsters, gaining life, controlling the field that way. Black is about self-sacrifice, winning at any cost. You sacrifice creatures to gain life, that sort of thing. White is all about working together, getting an army of lots of little creatures that buff each other up or make themselves stronger. Then we have blue, which is all about mind tricks and keeping control of cards and using the power of the mind. And then we have red, which is all aggression and passion. So it's about attacking quickly, burning, doing lots of spells, just keeping attacking.
Okay, so I could mix these up. I'm only allowed one free one, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I could mix these up later on and buy a little bit of everything, like have red, white, blue, black, and green.
Yeah, so you can mix the colors. It starts getting a little bit inconsistent, but you stick with one color or 2 colors, and once you've got a welcome deck, the next step would be buying a Planeswalker deck or buying boosters so you can grow and expand on your collection.
Okay, well, thank you very much. That was all I wanted to know, because I want to pick up one of these things myself, and now I know how to do it. So, as always, if you want to play, go out, play, tell me about it in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. Bye! Thank you very much.